also live streaming on YouTube. Alicia Wood Solomon is running late. She will join us as soon as she can. And I think I remember regrets from Sandra Hollingsworth, but everyone else is here.
Thank you.
So you're good to start.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting for our Historic Sites Board for Wednesday, June 15th. And it's 12:02. Before we begin, does anyone have a conflict of interest with today's agenda? None noted. Adoption of today's meeting. We need.
I just want to do a land acknowledgement before we begin. Sorry, Savannah.
Oh, of course, Kathy. Go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge that with respect, we are in Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, known as Bawading. Bawading is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. We need a motion to approve the agenda for the Historic Sites Board meeting for today, June 15th. We need someone to be our mover.
Charlotte had her hand up.
Charlotte. And a seconder. Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. All in favor? Carried. Resolved that the agenda for Historic Sites Board meeting for June 15, 2022, as presented, be approved. Adoption of our minutes. We need someone to move. Minutes of the Historic Sites Board meeting for May 11th be approved. For people that were here last time.
Charlotte.
Seconder.
I could second if you want. It's Jamie.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. Resolved that the all in favor. Carried. Resolved that the minutes of Historic Sites Board meeting be approved. Carried. And next, business arising.
I don't think there was anything arising from last meeting that and we'll get to updates under Curators Report.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we move on? Now, Kathy, I can't see everybody on my screen. I can see Jamie and Charlotte and Steve and David, and I can see you.
You've got everyone.
Is that everyone then?
Yeah. Jamie, Charlotte, David, Stephen, and Virginia.
And Virginia.
That's so Alicia hasn't joined us yet. So
Okay. All right. Accounts for this month. I think in our package we have our accounts.
yes, the statement within the agenda package is for Saturday, ending Saturday, April 30th. So we're still behind a month. So you'll see that though in April, we did bring in user fees. So that's really nice to start seeing again. April was a slow sort of start to reopening. Once we hit May, you'll notice May and June, next financial statement, you will notice a big increase because we went from 0 to 100 in a matter of a week. But these are user fees from school groups, Lilac and Lavender, that sort of thing in April. And we started in March, we started our Story Steeped in Stone performance series. The only other thing I wanted to point out is materials and supplies, and it includes all the items that we purchased under the COVID grant. So, which is not quite done spending. However, the COVID grant reports are going in because we did allocate and spend by purchase order. All those different things we did with the COVID finance with the federal government. So that was the furnace in the summer kitchen and all those things. Those bills were still coming in April and into May. So that's why that line item is a little higher than normal for the month of April. We were spending the grant that came in. So other than that, is there any questions regarding year-to-date or April expenditures?
Can I ask a question?
Jamie, go ahead. Jamie.
I'm curious about the capital project that is ongoing. That is not included in this budget statement?
No.
Because
So-
it's the city that's spending that money, or I'm sorry, refresh my memory on this.
So Madam Chair, back to Jamie, is we have a whole separate banking and finance statement accounts for those grants. And Virginia is the one that is governing those and the approvals on, and yeah, so the capital construction and the RED grant, which is Rural Economic Development with the province, is a whole separate set of accounts on that. So if you're interested for next month, I can get information for you from Virginia.
I think when it's all over, it would be interesting to see this final statement on spending and all of that. But it doesn't have to be July. It could be
Yep. Okay.
October or whatever, whenever you're done.
The Rural Economic Development Grant will be done by the end of June. So this round of capital construction, we are hoping to be complete. So financially, those reports will be done probably the first part of July. So, but yes, at some point we can get that.
Any other questions or comments on the expenditures? Thank you. Then we need somebody to approve the expenditures for the April finances year to date 2022. We need someone to motion that.
I'll move that.
David, and someone to second. Charlotte? All in favor? Carried. So resolved that the members of Historic Sites Board approve the expenditures of April finances year to date. And we did that. So Curators Report is next on the agenda.
The first thing I want to just let you know that it came to us end of last week is the CMOG application with the province, which is our annual operating grant from the Ministry of Heritage. So we are currently working on that application, which is Grants Ontario web portal. And the annual report that went to council May 24th and approved by council is the basis for that application. So all the stats that we report for in the annual report to council is where we get all the information for this grant application every year. So it will be prepared as much as possible by me by the end of this week on your behalf. And finance will do their bit the week after. And then it'll be submitted by the deadline of June 30th. So very fast turnaround. They have given options that if you can't get it all in, at least get it in. So if there's things that are still not available, like audited financials or different things they're asking for, still get it in by June 30th. And then those things we can upload at a later date. The annual operating grant in the past for like 30 years has been the same. In our operating budget, it comes in at about 18,500. So it's, you have to also be a museum that meets all the provincial standards and has all the policies. So we did start on policy review. We didn't get finished. So that I will have to see whether or not they're even asking for it this year, or whether it's another year because of COVID that they're just asking for the bare minimum. So I will report back in July on that. So events and bookings, as I said, we have gone from 0 to 100 in a matter of weeks. And I mean, it's very exciting that we're back up and operating at full speed. The cruise ships are coming in daily. We have bus tours now booked in. Road Scholar is a bus tour company from the United States. They start coming every 2 weeks, starting this Friday night. Their program in the past, we've done a live theatrical performance of Group of 7, Lauren Harris, and had a whole dinner themed on that. This year we've pivoted. The itinerary that Road Scholar is going to be doing is they will come to us first thing upon arrival in Sault Ste. Marie on Friday night. We're having Peter White and Joel Surratt play the songs of the Ermatinger House. So it's a song about Ermatinger, a song about Shinwalk, and a couple other of the progress of who lived in the house. They only have 20 minutes, so Peter White's 13 songs will not all be played. So they won't get the whole story of the old stone house, but they'll get the early years. Joel Surratt is very good at, as a storyteller, to tell the connection to his ancestors and Chief Shinwalk in amongst those songs. They get the Voyager dinner, but they're going to start with appetizers of whitefish. So it's appetizers and cash bar during the music portion and the storytelling of from Peter White and Joel Surratt, and then they'll go on tour, and then they will join us back in the theater because they've sold out. We can't fit them in the summer kitchen, so we're feeding them back in the theater for the main course, and that's tortilla, baked beans, that traditional menu. And then during the dessert portion, they will watch our orientation movie. Road Scholars are an educational format. Their components have to be educational for the adult learners. And the next morning, their itinerary takes them to Shinwalk. And I'm not sure who's speaking to them there, but they're having a presentation all morning on Saturday mornings. And the rest of their itineraries, I think, is the canal and Whitefish Island. And so we're the introduction to Canada, to the history of Sault Ste. Marie. So we're very pleased this year on that new itinerary and to have Peter White and Joel Surratt do that whole grouping of Rhodes Scholar shows. And then we're getting school tours. Tomorrow morning, David Conyers sports his red coat again and joins us with some other volunteers. We have 3 grade 7 classes all at once. So if COVID taught us anything, it's how to do group bookings. So we had 3 requests, so they're all coming at once, just like a little mini rendezvous. And they're going to go station to station for 2 hours tomorrow morning. So those are the kinds of things that are happening. As I said, cruise ships, we have bus tours booked in for the rest of the summer and the season, and events, and we have weddings. We have several big weddings coming up on the property. And then poutine feast. So any one of you are more than welcome to come and volunteer for poutine feast. The heritage, I have a map. Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. This is much easier to give you the visual. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna show you the new sort of poster we're just working on. It's going out as soon as possible. We have on the property, we're going to have stage with live bands on the 30th, the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. We have some other things going on with partnerships with our seniors program. We have land coming over with Drum Fit. July 1st, we have Entomica. We're hoping to have Nola and the salsa dancing and the Syrian drummers. And this is the list of vendors that will also be on the property over the few days. So there will be people selling like a little market. We're going to have a kids zone. There's a beer garden. And so I'll stop that because I want to bring up the map to show you. This is I took this from Google Maps or satellite and started to work with the downtown. So here's the building, the Heritage Discovery Center. Can you see my arrow on that? Can you see this? Okay. So up this big square in the top is the Heritage parking lot where poutine is actually going to be. So the poutine trucks will be parked here. There'll be tables in the middle for people to sit down and eat. Or they can come through and bring it through the yellow zone, which is the laneway between us and the lawyer's office, and come onto our property. The big square beside the old stone house, the north end here is the beer tent. Outspoken Breweries will be in the shed. We have electricity in there and it's a really good setup to set up the bar. They're bringing more than just beer. And we will be selling water and things like that as well. We can't do too much because the poutine vendors also have fountain sodas and things, pops and juices. But this will be all, that's sort of our revenue generating moment is the beer tent. anyone can drink beer on the property. We are licensed fence to fence, so they can take it out and sit on picnic tables. The other big tent beside our boardwalk going up to the old stone house is the vendors market. Down here, this square tent in the yard will be kids zone with lots of family activities, large games on the front lawn. The other blue square here is the stage where the bands will be playing. The round circles are portable washrooms and dumpster. And this is our volunteer and information check-in. So it's an aerial view of how the site's going to look. I see Charlotte has her hand up.
Oops. Go ahead,
Hi.
Charlotte.
Thank you. I just remember a couple of years ago, are we going to have maybe the city police or volunteers to help with directing traffic across Queen Street to the ice cream and city meats? I know that was a bit of an issue, just the kids dodging back and forth there. And as well, over towards the Bush Plain and to Northern Breweries, is there going to be any assistance to help direct traffic? Just because the attendance was enormous. So just because it was touch and go with the ice cream, people dodging back and forth in traffic. Because when you have people park on Queen, it's hard for traffic to see any pedestrians going across.
I'm going to remind the downtown association, they've hired security.
What they did for
So
traffic, or just
I know that they're putting some in different areas as well, because there is Paint and Decor have agreed to some parking for, I have to find out who that's for. But that's a good point. We had lots of people trying to cross Queen Street to get to Elliot's ice cream. They'd buy poutine and then go across and get ice cream, which was great for Elliot. So
it is. It just was a little bit heart stopping to see how many people were trying to go past those parked cars, or possibly an easier solution to help out security is to put pylons just in front of Elliot's and ask if that's okay, or I don't know if we can do that because it might be just because it's city property, or on both sides so that no one can park, because then at least cars can see pedestrians and pedestrians can see cars.
Yeah, I know the parking is a huge issue because we are going to be so busy and we're taking up heritage parking lots. So I know that the downtown is working on some solutions. The nice thing from us to the Bush Plain and Northern Breweries is there's now actual crosswalk with lights, and so when people are trying to cross there, it's a new light system and the flashing lights and a proper crosswalk. So that one we have
Got that covered.
Yeah,
I saw the stripes. I didn't see the stop sign, so that's awesome. That's awesome.
like a strobe light when you're driving.
Oh, nice. I like those. And I had another question with volunteers. Are you looking for many volunteers, or you're pretty stocked up with that, or do you have different? You need lots. We
need lots, and we need as many as possible.
Okay.
Just because even down in Kid Zone, just helping monitor the use of the activities and the large kind of games and toys. And on Canada Day, we're going to have more activity than normal. So if please put the word out. We are taking volunteers.
And do they go to
even just the fact of on our property and in Heritage parking lot, wiping of tables. That was a big one in 2019 because people are pouring ketchup on their fries and whatever and spilling their soft drinks, and so we were constantly cleaning tables. So
and then I had one other point before I forget. On the poster, I know you said it was a draft, but just on the bottom of that poster, there's one last heading. It said drum something, and it's covered by the graphics.
Oh, yeah.
And
down
I'm
here.
sure you
Yes,
said it was
I noticed that too.
okay. Well, it looks fantastic. It was an amazing event. I can't wait to go to it again this year, and I'll put the word out for volunteers.
So, and we're doing, even just having someone, on that laneway that was yellow on the map, there's got to be people at the end of it that are checking ID, because we're going to do a bracelet. So if you are 19 years of age, you get a bracelet, so that if you want, you can go to the beer tent and they don't have to check ID once you're bracelet. So there's all little spots on the property that we're placing volunteers and checking for just every little thing. So, and we're going to have last time we had donation boxes out with the ID checker, and we were able to receive quite a bit in donations. We put the tip jar out at the beer tent, so all of those things, because the beer tent is really our only main revenue during poutine. So, or the beverage area, I should say. So,
And I have one other question, if I can ask, how many trucks are coming this year? Is that public knowledge or will be included on the poster?
I will find out. Yeah, we'll have to add it on.
Okay.
It's usually 6 to 8.
Yeah, no, I know it's fantastic. And I know that we had first right of refusal, or they're all coming back here for this event. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, the nice thing is we were able to secure the July 1st again, only because 2019, we were the highest sales in poutine in all of Ontario. I don't know what's with Sault Ste. Marie, but so yes, we were able to reserve July 1st weekend for Sault Ste. Marie. So it'll be fun. And Canada Day will be going on at the tent pavilion, so it'll be a busy day. So yes, Stephen.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Stephen.
I really love the poster. Great job. It looks really sharp. As you mentioned, I think a really good marketing point, maybe, I don't know if we could slide it in this year, but for next year, I think for sure what you just said is a great marketing point, that we are the highest sales for the Poutine Fest across Northern Ontario. I think that's something that we can keep in mind to slide in for our actual promos, because it will draw even more people to that. If they hear, wow, like we sell a lot of poutines, I want to go check this out, right?
That's
so
a good point. Yeah.
No, it's a great marketing point, for sure. So great job on that as well. And for the volunteer side, do you happen to have like a small flyer that just says volunteers wanted, or do you just want to, like, if that might help, to have an actual flyer as well, similar, just says volunteers needed and the various positions of what they could be for, and then reminding people that that's good for high school hours as well, right? So it's a good way for high school students to get their required hours to graduate.
That's a great idea. Can I add to that? And who they're to contact? Is it the Downtown Association or yourself, Kathy, for the Old Stone site?
Either or. I told the downtown if they get any names to let us know. We'll between the two we can sort of choreograph a schedule, so that we have a master plan of volunteers at that information tent. So we're pulling together a chart, but I know they've already started, and we just put out quickly. We're starting to put it out right now. For people that haven't volunteered, we're putting out rapidly now. But I've made a note on Stephen's point about getting high school students and stuff. Get it out to that. We'll get that out to some of the high schools right away.
Or even the Algoma School District Board and the boards as well would be helpful to distribute that.
They have a system to get it out electronically and to families even. So we'll do target marketing.
Any other questions? Or we'll go to update on construction and restoration, Kathy? How's
Yeah.
that?
I have
Yeah,
one other
go ahead.
question.
Oh, Charlotte, go ahead.
Kathy, how did it go at the conference that you attended last week for cultural tourism?
Thanks, I forgot to put that on the agenda for you under my report. So I attended the Culture Days, and it was a cultural tourism symposium, and there was a panel. So it was Ontario Travel, Destination Northern Ontario, Destination Ontario. It was Jasmina from the Art Gallery, myself from the Ermitinger. Donna Hilsinger was there on behalf of Fall Festival and the city. We spoke about working together on cultural tourism and how to create itineraries, and Road Scholar was really our big topic. Is we didn't identify Road Scholar per se, but we talked about bus tour itineraries and how we work together on a theme. So the last 6 years it was Group of 7, and we're hoping to bring Group of 7 back again. But we're also now on a new itinerary with this Indigenous itinerary with Peter White and Joel Surratt, and then Shinwalk. So what was really interesting is someone asked the question, how lucrative is cultural tourism? And after all this work of coordinating and creating a play and live theater and bringing together your menu, the heritage menu and all that, was it worth it? And so I quickly did the math, and we did 6 years. And if we look at just the bus tours only that we brought here, and we had public dinners and all of that, I didn't include that. We had 118 in 6 years of the Road Scholar bus tours. And that at an average of, I just took 30 people on the bus, and then times the price we charged them, that it came out over 6 years to $250,000. And I made someone else bring their phone out and calculate it quick too, so we could answer this question fast. And that was just to the Ermitinger site over 6 years. The Art Gallery did the same for a Group of 7. So I mean, part of that went to the theater troupe, and we take out of that a little bit for supplies and our grocery supplies and things. But it was really interesting that when that question came up, how we were able to say that we have created cultural tourism on these itineraries. So our presentation was liked so much. We have 2 invitations possibly coming up for TIO, which is Tourism Industry Association Ontario, or something close to that. Their conference is in October, and the Ontario Museum Association has asked us to submit as well. So I don't know if we've become the new cultural tourism roadshow or what, but we believe it went very well. At least it was lots of conversation afterwards. So yeah, it was at the Toronto Library, downtown Toronto. 100 people were in attendance face to face, and then it was also live streamed. So people bought virtual tickets. So yeah, thanks for asking. I forgot about that.
Yes, no problem.
So I can just on construction and restoration. My last update is Virginia came on the property last week. I think we are done the foundation work. So that portion of the contract is done. The front porch is completed. We have now the last bit of this contract. So all the masonry, the foundation, the front porch, they're working on the windows. And so our exhibits are a bit of a mess right now. Not a mess. The artifacts are carefully taken care of and away from the windows, because we're about to next week start the insert of all those 14 windows that were restored. So at the same time, the next phase is our local company coming in to begin chimney work, the chimney repairs. So you might see over the next 2 weeks the lift. So they're bringing in a lift to bring their masons up to the rooftop to the chimneys. I almost felt like that was a song, wasn't it? Mary Poppins. So we are, the construction and restoration is almost at that ending point for this project that we've had ongoing for the last 2 years. It's very exciting. And I want to thank Virginia. She's been the overseer and the one struggling to get this done on time. So yeah, we've made it.
That's progress.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, I think Jamie has a question or comment. Jamie, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to comment, just kudos to Kathy for this month has been like crazy busy with the cruise ships and the teas and the RV groups and road scholars. And I've been on the property. I attended the tea with my son and his girlfriend, and I've been bartending, so I've been able to be the spectator for a lot of it. And it's just, it's unbelievable. You know, the number of people that are coming through the door and the programming and the food. And it's just like, and every visitor is beaming. Like, you know, it's just an incredible reputation that Kathy's building up for the food and the programming and making a success of what has been a very difficult time. So I just want to thank Kathy.
Well, thank you. Yes, Jamie's been our honorary bartender for the Story Steeped in Stone performance series. And just on that note, Madam Chair, if you don't mind me saying, the next one is June 23rd. It's an Indigenous program. We have drumming, dancing. It begins with a smudging ceremony. Even our MC for that one is Liz Webb-Wigamog, who will be doing the whole pulling together of the many performers that evening. So it is very close to, of course, Indigenous Day, but it's being presented in the month, Indigenous month. So, and it's been promoted through Summer Moon Festival. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. Kathy, is that for June 23rd, is that like an all day or an evening? Does the public come in and out, or is that with tickets again?
Yeah. So just so it's part of that performance series. So it's by ticket.
Tickets.
Evening. 6:30 we begin, and there's only like 25 tickets. And then at 7 p.m. the show starts and we live stream. So, and that performance is on all weekend on YouTube, the Friends of YouTube channel.
That's good to hear. Okay. If nobody has questions or comments further, I think Charlotte has something. Go ahead, Charlotte.
For the Steep and Stone events, are you going to increase the capacity for the live now that things are lifting, or are we sticking to the 25?
Well, we had hoped to move this particular next show outside.
Yeah.
So we can start to, but we have a Wi-Fi issue when we're live streaming. So we don't have the capacity to live stream. If we move outside and increase our in-person capacity, then it has to be a pre-recorded, which there is talk about.
Because
When
you're
we're
selling out of each of the events, it would be nice
yeah,
to increase the capacity.
Yeah, when we get to increasing the capacity, then it's more food and beverage. There's a few more things we have to consider. We had hoped though, but our issue right now is Wi-Fi. So we're trying to work on that see what we can do for a solution on that.
Okay.
So
You're just doing so well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the Municipal Heritage Committee, that's posted next on the agenda. Jamie or anyone has something to present on that?
I don't know. I noticed Virginia's remaining silent. I think there's another, the Doors Open Committee, I think, meets again in July. And we're still aiming for the September 30th, October 1st event. And Kathy's on that committee. So Nicole Curry is on that committee, I think. And yeah, and there's also a group, another working group that has been formed that's looking at heritage trees and, working on updating the inventory, the municipal inventory of heritage trees. I can't answer any questions about that one because that's probably the only committee I'm not on at this point. But yeah, other than that, we're kind of in recess for the summer, except for the Doors Open. Virginia, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think we've got the 2 designations that we're working on finalizing to take to council at some point this summer. That's for the Yard Locker and for 119 Woodward Avenue. The heritage trees, we need our park staff to be able to assist on that project. So that's probably going to be something that's going to really start up later in the year. Right now, they're trying to get all the facilities open and they're kind of in peak season. So as some of their projects start to wind down, I'll hopefully be able to get some time from our parks and forestry staff to start to weigh in with the working group on that. And yeah, we're working on website updates. So trying to get some new documents on the website and update our old forums. And we just updated the Heritage Award at the last committee meeting, some of the criteria for that. And yeah, the Doors Open will kind of be, I think, our next big project.
Yeah, I think we were going to register for that on the provincial site, and then there will start to be some Facebook social media promotion of that, like a countdown and feature properties and that kind of thing. So we're still building. Virginia's dedicated 1 or more summer students to that, so they've been doing a lot of the work, preparing the documents. And yeah, it'll be a big project.
Thank you, Jamie. Any other new business, Kathy?
None that I can think of that wasn't already discussed on the agenda. Sorry, I do have one. Yes, I do. It's our next meeting might be in person because as I just answered Charlotte's question about Wi-Fi and everything else, Sylvana's using our new laptop that came with our COVID grant funding, and we are the live streaming equipment is on its way. So we're going to try, fingers crossed, you'll get a notice from me to do an in-person meeting. It'll have to be in the theater because meetings of council still have to be put on through Zoom and on YouTube for us to be an open meeting of council. So we can meet in person as long as we continue to live stream. So hopefully I'll have it all put together and we can meet in person in July. If you get the notice with a Zoom link, it means that I haven't quite figured out the cameras and the computer yet, but I'm aiming to get us all together in person.
You're doing a wonderful job. I just wanted to say I did attend the Lilacs and Lavender with my group of ladies, and I think it was limited to 22. I could have had another 22, but it's really popular, all these teas and events, and people are getting excited that we can actually see each other, and so it would be wonderful to have a meeting face to face, but I know that there's rules and the city has their policies, so we just abide by that. But I think that just the people in the community are eager to get together like this. And it's quite a learning curve. Like, these are all the Lilac and Lavender. The day I attended, it was the celebration of the Queen's Jubilee. And you had so much information. The trivia questions you had, and all the ladies were excited about this. It was just like a wonderful class. So, and very classy on your part, very informative.
We did a tribute to the Queen at Lilac and Lavender, and yes, I pulled up trivia and we about the Queen. So
yeah, so you always add to it.
The nice thing about that was that on the Sunday of Lilac and Lavender at our high tea, everyone around the world that was commemorating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee was doing the same thing. So we were part of a worldwide event. So thank you for the compliments, everyone, today.
Well, it's so true. It's you're hardworking, and we thank you, Kathy. If there's any other questions, fine, or we will have the next meeting is July 13th at 12 noon. So we need someone to motion to adjourn today. By Charlotte, and a seconder, Jamie. Resolved that this committee now adjourn. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
Call us
you
and
too.
come to poutine.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, Kathy, can you put me down for some volunteer work on that day, on the 1st?
July 1st?
Yeah, I'll come down for July 1st for a few hours and stuff and fill in where I can.
We're open 11
till 9. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably stay for like the whole afternoon or whatnot.
Okay.
So. Depends how long I can leave my dog, or if I get someone to watch my dog.
Your dog's so cute. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
she's
cut
so
you down.
she thinks her
Wonderful.
name is so cute. She hears it all the time.
And anyone else, just give us a call. There's 4 days of poutine, so thanks. David's coming today to set up tents. See you shortly.
I'm putting on my boots. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you
Take care.
soon.
Bye.